can go ahead and start recording, and other folks can drop in as they can.
Right. Go ahead. We've started.
Yeah. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Add-ons community meeting. This is our last Add-ons community meeting for 2018. So I wanted to take a quick minute to thank all of our great friends of Add-ons who have helped build the community this year. We have a really great group of community members who also mentor folks in the community and help make the community a warm and welcoming place for people to land. So I wanted to especially thank Zombie, Sean, Shivam, who's here with us today, Jyotsna, Trishul, and Vijwa. Thank you so much for taking the time and extending your friendliness to help newbies get onboarded into the code bases and get contributing to Mozilla. I think it's definitely like one of the best parts of my job is to see community members becoming mentors and helping grow the community. So just wanted to say thank you for that. Thank you for making 2018 really special. Um, this meeting, I thought we would take a couple of minutes to do a recap of the all hands that we were at about a week and a half ago. I'm just now recovering from, from the Moz flu, so good times for that. So mostly what I wanted to talk about today was talking about Mozilla's updated 3-year plan and kind of some of the strategies that Mozilla leadership is encouraging us to think along the lines of in areas that Mozilla is going to be investing in the future. So there are 3 key components to this 3-year plan. So reach, and by reach we mean we're talking about platforms and services. So our ability to actually reach audiences and users. We're talking about relationships, so going deeper into building relationships with our users. In the past, there's kind of been a perception at Mozilla that we're building platforms first and users are kind of just here, like if you build it, they will come. But now we're starting to think about like, well, what other values can we provide our existing users, and would our existing users on one platform be interested in some of our other product offerings? And are there any additional services that we could offer members that would add more value to their online lives? And the third big spoke of this is resilience. And what we mean by resilience is financial resilience, and that means diversifying our revenue. So for folks in the community, I think one of the questions that comes up a lot is how does Mozilla make money? And one of the answers to that is we have a deal with Google where they are the default search provider in Firefox when a new user installs Firefox, and we get a cut of we get like a certain amount, a certain percentage of revenue from searches that are run using the Google search provider in Firefox. So if search declines, so that's you think about it in terms of like where you're betting on things, it's kind of putting all of your eggs in one basket, and that one basket is this Google search revenue basket. So one of the things that everybody at Mozilla has been tasked with is kind of figuring out how can we be more financially independent from Google and not be reliant on that search revenue. So that if something happens with our partnership with Google, if something happens with search, we can survive that event. So so that's kind of like the highest level like umbrella of Mozilla's 3-year plan. How this is kind of going to play out on a more tactical level is we want Mozilla to be considered as a user's trusted personal agent for their connected lives. So that includes Firefox. That includes some of our other products like Lockbox, which works in conjunction with Firefox, and other products that are coming to market. We also want to provide enhanced user agency, privacy, and security. So all of the work that we've been doing in the past around privacy and security, we're going to continue to double down on. Given some of the scary things that are happening out there in the world today, we want to make sure that users are safe and secure, not just feel safe and secure. and that all of our products' core capabilities include safety, control, choice, and transparency. So again, some of the keywords that are coming out here is agency, privacy, safety. So those are so things that are kind of like related to those projects, and like platforms and services that are related to those ideas are going to be getting increased investment from Mozilla going forward into the next 3 years. So that was the biggest takeaway from the all hands. If you are an NDA community member, you can look at the plenary and some of the lightning talks on Air Mozilla. You do need an NDA to get in there. If you don't have an NDA, please feel free to contact me either by email or on email is actually probably the best way to get a hold of me. I was going to say email or IRC. Email is probably the best, and I can go ahead and get you that NDA so you can see some of the plenary talks. There are also a couple of interesting engineering talks, and I think one of the engineering talks might have had something to do. I think it was this round where Scott and some of the folks on data science are talking a little bit about the telemetry aware add-on recommender, or TAR, which has been something that we've been working on pretty intensively over the last year to help users find great extensions that they might be interested in installing. So, so that's my update from the all hands. Are there any questions? So since we're talking a little bit about 2019 and going into the future, I also wanted to throw Jorge into the hot seat a little bit to kind of talk about some of the plans for AMO Q1. And I've linked to the project board on Heroku app, which I think is very pretty and nice. So we'll turn it over to Jorge super quickly.
Yeah, so we are, so we had some last minute changes that we're still processing. So we don't have a full plan for Q1. What we have is a plan for what we're working on the start of Q1, probably January. So we're going to be doing some things that we know are not affected by these other changes that are kind of in transit. So there is some work plan for reviewer tools. There is some work plan for the discovery pane, and then some general infrastructure things, updating the Python and Django backend, and some work that we're also carrying over from this quarter, like migrating lightweight themes to static themes. And I think that covers most of that. But again, this is just like we're going to do starting the quarter. Once we have a better idea of what we're doing for the rest of the year, we'll add like the bulk of the plan, which is still kind of up in the air. We need, basically we're escalating some sessions, and I think we're going to get a response to those early in January. Once that's settled, then we'll have a clear plan for Q1 and Q2.
So I have an annoying question about migrating lightweight themes to static themes, and it's just because I can't seem to keep this right in my head. So Personas Plus,
Yes.
which was developed to manage, to help like design and also manage lightweight themes. So as soon as static themes go into effect, does Personas Plus totally break at that point? Like you can't design themes on it anymore, or like preview theme designs?
It would still work to the extent that it works now, which is not a lot, but it would still work. Just it wouldn't work with anything on AMO, but you could still use it to preview stuff.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Sorry, as somebody who answers that question a lot, I feel like I should know the actual answer to that question. Fun fact, so we have officially retired Personas Plus, even though it's still hanging around. We are transitioning our theme users over to Firefox Color, which we are going to be assuming ownership of as we head into next year. we learned a fun thing about local storage in Firefox Color a couple weeks ago, that uninstalling Firefox Color does not clear the local storage, and you have to go to Storage Inspector to clear it. So just FYI, if you have any problems running out of space with Firefox Color, we got you covered. We can help out with that. Anyway, any questions for Jorge about AMO? All right, cool. So I wanted to talk a little bit too about what we're looking at doing for beginning of the year with web extensions, API development. So we're going to be taking a closer look at web extensions APIs that protect users and promote user agency. So those are now going to be at the top of the API development queue. So what that means is we're going to be migrating search to web extensions and also providing a login password API. The login password API is one of the long tail APIs that I know a lot of password manager developers have been looking for. So we're going to resurrect that primarily for Lockbox, which is a Firefox product, a Firefox password manager. But hopefully it will still be usable for other developers out there who want to do password management. And then we're also going to be taking a look at early versions of Manifest v3. So Google recently announced that they're going to be going in to design a new Manifest version for extensions. So we're going to be trying to work with them to remain compatible. And then the other thing that is coming up pretty quickly, possibly actually with Firefox 66, is extensions in private browsing. So I think starting in Firefox 66, users will be able to decide which extensions run in private browsing and which don't. Right now, currently all extensions are enabled by default in private browsing, which has led to some concerns about like data tracking and can you be tracked through your extension if you have that running. So in 66, users will have greater choice. And what this also means for developers is developers will be able to pick to decide whether or not their extensions can run in private browsing, or if you just, as a developer, want to turn off the extension's ability to run in private browsing by default. So that's coming up. And then the other thing we're going to be looking at doing is we're going to be continuing to build out documentation for extension developers and taking a look at improving some of our permissions messaging. And we still want to build out samples, templates, and advice for Firefox extension developers. So that's going to be on our radar. And that's where we're going with that. I know Amy is also heading off some front end stuff. So Return to AMO is a project that's still moving forward. So that's when you go to AMO from a non-Firefox browser and you want to install an extension. Right now the current flow is a little bit broken. You click install the extension and then you get like you get the Firefox first run experience, but you don't end up back on AMO. So this will help close that gap so you don't have to go back and find that extension that you wanted to download in the first place. And it looks like we're going to try to slip that into 65. So hopefully that'll work out. So we've got some new cool stuff coming up in 2019. I think it'll definitely be exciting what goes on. And that's pretty much, I don't want to say that's pretty much it, but that's kind of what we're looking at right now. So yeah, any questions, thoughts, requests?
I got a question regarding your mug. Is it drawings from Matthew Inman from?
I have no idea. It was the first mug that I grabbed in the kitchen this morning. I think it's the MDN. Yeah, I think it's the MDN bug guy, and he says I love devs.
But is that? I think that's being drawn by Matthew from the Oatmeal, isn't it?
It might be. Oh, is it really?
Yeah, I think
looks like it.
That's the style, and I think we.
Did we hire him to do that for the MDN error messages?
I don't remember. There was some relationship there, but Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
That's amazing. I love that. I think he's cute, this little guy. But more importantly, he holds the coffee that brings us to life. Yeah. So I guess the only other thing that I would just put into folks' brains is 2018 was a jam-packed year, at least from my perspective. It seemed to go by really quickly, and also it seems like 10 years has passed in the last 12 months. So if you have any thoughts about what your favorite part of add-ons in 2018 was, what you learned the most that year, or what you're most looking forward to in 2019, we'd definitely love to hear from you. Otherwise, I think, yeah, we're just going to head off into the holidays. Expect to hear more from us after the new year. I think we're going to be online for a little bit, but not super responsive. Go for it, Sylvain.
There's a question in chat from Shivam.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I do not see it. Hold on. Ah, I see it. Yes, okay. Thanks, Jorge.
Yeah, I think we got these in Austin. I really like the new logo.
I think so too. Okay, awesome. Well, I'll let you all go. We'll see you in January. Take care. Have a smooth end of the year, and keep on rocking. We'll see you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.